Coming up on BCIT Magazine, drug users are fighting to end stigmatization.
A Muslim group in Coquitlam is educating the public in a new way.
And an art show in Golden shows off prints and garbage. Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Isabella Zavarise.
And I'm Tiffany Goodwin, and we're coming to you from BCIT's Burnaby campus. This week, BC Finance Minister Carol James announced the BC budget with an emphasis on housing and childcare. $1 billion is being invested into affordable childcare. This investment will create 22,000 new childcare spaces. The government is investing $6.2 billion over the next decade to create over 33,000 affordable housing units. They'll also increase the foreign buyers tax from 15% to 20%. Medical service plan premiums will be eliminated by 2020 and replaced by a payroll health tax. The rates for all major BC ferry routes will be frozen, and minor ferry routes will see rate reductions. Families with incomes below $30,000 will no longer have to pay deductibles for the pharmacare program. Free bus passes will be reinstated for individuals living with disabilities. At least 3,700 new teachers will be placed in BC schools. And a tax increase will be placed on tobacco products and luxury cars worth more than $150,000.
A Muslim group in Coquitlam is trying to inform people about their culture in a unique way. Vanessa Doban has the story.
I am Muslim. Ask me anything, reads the sign Yasser Ahmed is holding as busy commuters shuffle by. Most of the time it's friendly and peaceful, but sometimes...
The past year that we've been doing it, we've maybe had half a dozen times where someone's been a little over-aggressive or violent. I know yesterday we had one where someone took one of our signs and threw it in the road.
Still, this group from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community pours their coffee, regroups, and heads out to brave the cold. To invite strangers to the nearby Coquitlam Library where they can share their culture.
And the response has been very positive. So the board itself allows for both humorous questions as well as some serious questions. So a lot of people drop by and ask questions of all sorts, sometimes related to Islam and sometimes just for the sake of asking questions.
The event inside offers guests reading material to take home and a welcoming space to chat with the imam.
It's always good to educate yourself and see what it is what other people's views and perspectives are, because that way it is about unity and coexisting, and we have to find a common ground to, be able to live amongst each other.
The members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community say they will continue to host these open house events and make themselves available to share their culture with the public, despite occasional harassment they may continue to face.
It actually is a really good example of when other people will actually come and defend us. So it's actually a really good feeling when someone does something like that and you have people you've never met before in your life coming up to you with your sign saying, "Oh, we'd like to apologize on behalf of this person's actions." Or, "Hey, are you all right?" And it's very comforting to know that people out there do care.
Vanessa Doban in Coquitlam for BCIT Magazine.
Vanessa Doban joins us live now from Coquitlam. Vanessa, can you tell us what these people are doing?
So about every week, the youth from the Ahmadiyya Muslim community gather in front of the Vancouver Art Gallery and the Coquitlam SkyTrain station with signs that say, "I am Muslim, ask me anything." According to Imam Tariq Azim, these signs provide an opportunity to those who may not have otherwise a chance to speak to somebody who's Muslim to ask any questions that they might have. Back to you.
And what makes the event inside the library different?
So events like this here at the Coquitlam Public Library offer people an opportunity to ask more in-depth questions or have a more private setting to talk about whatever it is they have on their mind, or even just get some literature on the topic. Back to you.
We've had a particularly cold week this week with temperatures hovering below -8 overnight. The BC Ambulance Service says they've received over 115 cold-related calls this year. The ambulance service says it's common this time of year, especially for those living on the street. Still to come on BCIT Magazine, an art exhibit commemorates the Japanese-Canadian experience during World War II.
And a photographer tells us about her increase in business for social media posts.
out just a tiny bit?
Sorry, say that again?
Can you zoom out a tiny bit?
It's a quick 2 years. They get you in and they get you out, but you leave with so much more knowledge than you walk in.
The BC Hockey League hosted the 3rd annual BCHL Showcase last weekend. The showcase also allows fans to come.
The tools you learn are very valuable. You leave with a comprehensive knowledge of many of the programs that are used in everyday workforces around all the newsrooms in Vancouver. At the beginning of your 2-year program, you don't really expect that in 2 years' time you're walking out ready to be a part of the journalism industry.
Good morning and welcome to Evolution News. I'm Chantal Casquitza.
I was lucky enough to get a job a week after I graduated. I think that has a lot to do with the teachers and fellow students prepping you for the outside life once you graduate from BCIT. Yeah, if it wasn't for BCIT, I'd be lost.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. A group of drug users and allies marched the streets of downtown Vancouver to call for change to government policy. The protesters took to the streets of Vancouver to call for the decriminalization of illicit drugs. The crowd joined together in hopes of stirring government action on preventable overdose deaths. In 2017, there were over 1,400 suspected overdose deaths in BC, which is a 43% increase from 2016. President of the Canadian Association of People Who Use Drugs, Jordan Westfall, says drug users are stigmatized and desperate for change.
It's just the overdose epidemic, just losing so many people. And, you know, the only way, this issue is so stigmatized and people are so stigmatized, the only way to get our voices out is by screaming.
No more drug war!
The group raised signs saying "They talk, we die" to demand to be included in future public policy and decision-making.
As the legalization of cannabis approaches, the BC government has set policy guidelines for its sale and use. BC will allow anyone over the age of 19 to grow up to 4 cannabis plants per household, but these plants must not be visible from public spaces off the property. British Columbians over 19 will be able to purchase non-medical cannabis through privately run retail stores or government-operated stores and online sales. The government also wants to limit where cannabis use will occur. Public places are okay, but spaces where children might be, including beaches and parks, will be illegal. It will also be illegal to smoke in a vehicle, even if you are a passenger. Legalization is set for July 1st, but it could be delayed.
A local artist has created a Zen garden made entirely of sugar to commemorate those who worked on sugar beet farms during World War II. My co-anchor Isabella Zavarise has the story.
More than 4,000 pounds of sugar were used to create this Zen garden. 4th-generation Japanese-Canadian and landscape artist Kelty Miyoshi McKinnon sculpted these meter-long boulders made out of molten and burnt sugar. Each granule a reminder of the hardships faced by Japanese Canadians.
Even within my community, the sugar beet story has not been well told until now. So it's been an exciting time to be able to enhance the narrative.
During the Second World War, Japanese families were given the option of being forced into internment camps, risking displacement, or remaining together to work on sugar beet farms in the prairies or Ontario. Toshiko Goto recounts her husband's journey working on a beet farm.
Ontario farmers are big. This country is big and farmland is big. And he said, "Can see the end. How long, big field are." So he walked over there and had his back.
Approximately 20,000 Japanese were uprooted during this time, 13,000 of whom were Canadian citizens by birth, like Toshio. The exhibit illustrates the uprooting, disenfranchisement, and isolation these people endured. The government confiscated property, fishing boats, and personal belongings without ever fully repaying them. Despite Goto's experience, she is glad to have come here.
That's a freedom here. And woman not like Japan, No, that's time. No, different. I'm lucky to come here.
Betta Vulgaris, the Sugar Beets Project, runs at the Nikkei Museum until May 27th. Isabella Zavarise in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Selena Ho was in Golden this week at an art show that encourages people to be more environmentally conscious.
Art enthusiasts came into the art gallery of Golden to view art made of canvas, prints, and garbage. Claire Dubel is the local writer, artist, and now waste educator. On a trip to Norway, Dubel collected trash along the coastlines and used them in her pieces.
It's impacting lots of marine wildlife and probably plenty of animals that are on land as well, or at least interacting with the shoreline. I just hope that it would make somebody take pause just for a moment to consider it. Right. You know, the things that I buy have an impact.
It's really powerful how her imagery is so beautiful, but there's that added little element with the garbage that makes you really think about our impact that we have.
Although her art is open to the public, Dibel's art is more personal.
I feel deeply connected to nature, and it feels like a good friend to me, and so the idea that we are harming it in our silly, consumptive choices is really disappointing to art.
Dibel chooses to use garbage in her art to send a bigger message to the small community. Selena Ho in Golden for BCIT Magazine.
Selena Ho joins us now from Golden. So Selena, how did people respond to the exhibit?
Great. Well, people of all ages actually attended the event, from toddlers to teenagers to seniors. And you could tell that the community was actually really interested in learning more about how they could change the environment.
So Selena, how can people outside of Golden enjoy Claire's art?
Well, you could always check out Claire's website at clairedibble.com, or you could check out Claire's Instagram at dibble. Back to you.
With the popularity of social media at an all-time high, photographers are reporting a boom in business. My co-anchor Tiffany Goodwin has the story.
You know the drill. You position the camera just right and click. All with the hopes of capturing that picture-perfect photo for social media. It's a trend fueled by likes, and that fuel is making beautiful photos a necessity to keep up with the competition. Having stunning social media photos has become so popular that for many, gone are the days of just taking out your iPhone to snap a few photos.
Little? Good.
In fact, local photographers in Vancouver say they've seen quite the boom in the number of people wanting professional photos for their social media.
Can you lean in just a tiny bit? I would say about 60% of my business these days is for some form of online photography. So people wanting LinkedIn headshots, people wanting social media photos for Instagram or Facebook profiles, and a lot of people for online dating.
We like pretty things. We like looking at nice photos, and because everybody's stepping up their game and everybody's trying to vlog, or everyone's playing this game right now, people are, getting better equipment and becoming better at editing and going out there and sometimes doing things just to get that photo.
Another reason people are getting professional photos? Personal branding.
Well, for example, you being in broadcasting, this presents you as professional, as friendly, as open, as comfortable with yourself.
So how do you capture that picture-perfect moment?
In my experience, the thing that makes an ordinary photo become extraordinary is just the light in someone's eyes.
It's a light more people find isn't captured by the old-fashioned selfie. Tiffany Goodwin in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, a young dancer wins big at an international competition.
Students at this school are pioneering how knowledge is consumed.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radek Asuka.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Teresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radek Asuka. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
I sure wish this was wine.
You're in luck. The Vancouver Wine Festival's in town.
The 40th Vancouver International Wine Festival is in town from February 24th to March 4th. It has a bunch of different events like seminars, brunches, and wine tasting. This year, the wine is featured from 16 different countries. You should check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, have a great day, Miranda.
Hey, what are you doing, Cheyenne?
Oh, hey, I'm just looking up ways to decorate my suite at home.
Oh, no way. You should check out the BC Home and Garden Show. It's at BC Place and it runs from February 21st to 25th. Right now, tickets are $16, but if you go online, you can save $3.
Thanks, Miranda. I'll definitely check it out. Miranda, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, I thought I'd try out hockey.
Cool. Hey, you might want to check out Go for Gold. It's an all-ages co-ed hockey tournament that's happening in North Van down at the shipyards. It's free, it's on February 25th, and there's going to be DJs, a beverage garden, food trucks, and they're also showing the closing ceremony for the Olympics.
Want to play?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. A school in Coquitlam is changing the way students learn. One of our mobile journalists, Isabella Zavarise, visited the school.
Welcome to Inquiry Hub, a school where students decide on the curriculum. Well, half of the curriculum. The high school appeals to self-directed learners like Lef.
The idea of going to a place where there would be thousands of students, where there's a bell and I would have to be at a particular class at a particular time all the time, just really didn't work for me. That was something that I sort of scared of.
The inquiry-based learning model encourages pupils to seek passion projects like app developing. These young learners have yielded a community garden and a pay-what-you-can snack bar. The BC Ministry of Education has implemented a core competency approach to learning that includes student-led inquiry. The goal is to facilitate a collaborative learning process. While schools in BC are adopting the new core curriculum, Inquiry Hub has taken student-led learning the farthest. Students at Inquiry Hub are defined the traditional educational setting, but they're still just kids.
Currently, I still kind of got to figure things out. I got a couple of years, so I'm doing my best.
Isabella Zavarise in Coquitlam for BCIT News. It's not just Olympic athletes bringing home medals to Canada. A young Burnaby dancer graced the stage at an international competition and now has a new title to his name. Tiffany Goodwin has more.
Just 3 years ago, Anthony Zhao never imagined he could do this, or become a bronze medalist at the World Championships. But at just 8 years old, this jazz dancer managed to do just that.
So this is my trophy, and here's my medal. Yeah.
A trophy and medal won some thousands of miles away in Riesa, Germany. The pint-sized dancer from Burnaby made the trek with his mom and sister to compete with dancers from around the world.
Good, really good. I was surprised too, and I thought I would lose.
Lose because Anthony was the youngest competitor and the least trained of all the dancers. Still, Anthony won bronze. Not bad for someone who only started dancing 3 years ago.
Well, I want to bring happiness to the audience, and I also want to tell them that boys can dance because there are a bunch of boys who dance. When I dance, it makes me happy, and it makes me just want to I don't really know. It just makes me want to dance even more and more.
Because Anthony drives me to bring him into dance.
For me, since I was a little child, actually, I hated dance.
Do you think everyone can dance?
Most people can, right? You step back here and you lean to this.
Okay, so maybe my dancing isn't exactly world championship quality. So what does it take to become a world champion?
Practice, dancing with your heart, and connecting with the audience.
3 keys to success that'll carry this dancer to new heights for years to come. Tiffany Goodwin in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
My co-anchor also had an opportunity to get a little dance lesson from Anthony.
So then you step, and you kick, you step, and you kick, you step to the side, up tears, and then you kick, and then kick.
I'm now joined with Anthony Zhao, who's here to show us some of his favorite dance moves. So Anthony, what are some of your favorites, and why do you love dancing so much?
So my favorite moves are LA balls, which mean this.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. So, can you show us one of your favorite dance moves?
So here you do this. You put your hand right in the middle of your foot, right there, and you put your foot. After this foot is a bit turned out, so you gotta not parallel, you just gotta move it a bit out. And then you hold it here. Then you go up. Then you go down.
Then you go down.
Foot here. And then you turn.
Oh, okay. Okay, how was that?
That was okay.
That was okay? Yeah, I don't know if I can get it as good as you. Would you mind showing us again? Okay, so what is this move called? Changement. Did I say that right? Cool. Okay, so how do we do a changement?
So you put your hands in first. And then your fingers like that. And then after you jump up, but you go through your feet. And then after you go through your feet again. So you go. And you jump and then you go through your feet. Like up and down, up and down. Pants, roll down.
Whoa! You can bounce pretty high. My pants are falling down. Okay. Oh, that was a good workout, Anthony. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you. This was Anthony Zhao, local dancer from Burnaby, who just got a bronze medal at the World Championships. Congratulations, and it's no wonder you won. And we are now joined with our entertainment reporter, Nicholas Cavallo. So Nick, what's the latest in entertainment news?
Thank you, Tiffany. Black Eyed Peas member Fergie has made history after singing the U.S. national anthem. Unfortunately for her, it's not quite the kind of history you want to make after singing that anthem. Her slowed-down blues-style rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner has some people calling it the Star-Mangled Banner after fans and players mocked her at the Staples Center. Social media also took to trash the singer's performance, with even non-singers like comedian Roseanne Barr coming onto Twitter, saying her performance in San Diego years ago was far better than Fergie's. Meanwhile, in Hollywood,
what happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
The success of Black Panther certainly shows the Field of Dreams principle of if you build it, they will come, certainly works when it comes to diversity in movies. Black Panther earned $235 million over the long weekend in the States. The movie has nearly made a third of $1 billion in total revenue so far and is easily expected to reach that $1 billion mark. And in the Junos.
How's everybody doing tonight? Oh my God, it's so nice to see all your faces. Thank you so much for having us. We are Headley.
Canadian rock band Headley has withdrawn their nominations from the Junos as they continue to face sexual misconduct allegations. The band was nominated for Best Group of the Year, Best Pop Album of the Year, and Fan Choice Prize. The Junos have stated that they will not be replacing the nominations and that any votes casted for Headley will be thrown out. Back to you.
And at the Olympics, Canadian ice skaters Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir ended their careers with a gold medal and world record. The pair have been skating together for 20 years.
In Olympic news, the closing ceremonies for the Winter Olympics is scheduled to take place on February 26th. Among the celebrations, there'll be cultural and artistic displays from the next host city of the Olympics. If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca. Thanks for watching this week's episode of BCIT Magazine. I'm Tiffany Goodwin.
And I'm Isabella Zavarise. We leave you now with a look at the fountain at the Nikkei Museum.